Marc Márquez has sent a crystal-clear message to every one of his rivals once again. After facing doubts because of the injury that cost him valuable points early in the season, the Ducati Lenovo team rider has bounced back in the most spectacular fashion possible. Sachsenring has once again become his kingdom, while his rivals dropped out one by one due to mistakes and crashes. This dominant victory not only reinforced his status as the king of Sachsenring, but also allowed him to dramatically cut the gap to the leader of the 2026 MotoGP World Championship. Is this the beginning of Marc Márquez's charge toward another world title? Let's discuss. Once again, Sachsenring belonged to Marc Márquez. The circuit that has been synonymous with his dominance for so many years delivered the same story at the 2026 German Grand Prix. From the opening free practice sessions through qualifying, Marc was simply unstoppable. He shattered the all-time Sachsenring lap record, secured pole position, and then continued his incredible form by claiming a convincing victory in the sprint race. But even those achievements weren't enough for the Ducati star. In Sunday's main race, Marc once again proved why he is one of the greatest riders in MotoGP history. As soon as the lights went out, Marquez launched perfectly off the line and immediately defended his lead with a flawless start. He never gave his rivals even the slightest opportunity to challenge him, settling into an incredibly consistent race pace from the opening laps. Lap after lap, his advantage continued to grow. What impressed everyone the most wasn't just his speed, it was his composure. Throughout the race, Marc made virtually no mistakes. Every corner was executed with remarkable precision, showing that his physical condition has finally returned to a level very close to his peak performance. While Marc comfortably controlled the race at the front, the battle behind him turned into complete chaos. Fabio Di Giannantonio became one of the first major casualties after crashing out and being forced to retire. Shortly afterward, Alex Marquez also suffered an accident that ended his race prematurely. Those incidents completely reshaped the fight for the podium positions. Even with victory becoming increasingly secure, Marc never backed off. He maintained total focus until the checkered flag and crossed the finish line with a commanding advantage. The win completed what was nearly a perfect weekend for the Spanish rider. He claimed pole position, set a new all-time lap record, won the sprint race, and capped everything off with another dominant victory in Sunday's Grand Prix. It was the kind of weekend that reminded everyone that Sachsenring is still Marc Márquez's territory. The outstanding result at Sachsenring had a massive impact on the 2026 MotoGP World Championship standings. By collecting the maximum possible points, Marc Márquez climbed to third place in the championship. Even more importantly, his deficit to championship leader Marc Márquez has now been cut to fewer than 20 points. A gap that once looked nearly impossible to overcome has suddenly become very realistic. Just a few rounds ago, many people believed Marc's chances of winning another world championship were fading away. His injury had cost him a significant number of crucial points, while Marc Márquez and the Aprilia riders continued to produce strong results. But the situation has changed dramatically. Round after round, Marc has steadily reduced the deficit, and the momentum is now beginning to swing in favour of Ducati Lenovo team. With plenty of races still remaining this season, the battle for the 2026 MotoGP World Championship is wide open once again. Ducati's continuously improving performance, combined with Marc's steadily recovering physical condition, has convinced many experts to once again consider him one of the leading favourites for the title. If this impressive momentum continues, it may only be a matter of time before Marc Márquez takes over the top spot in the championship standings. That situation has now shifted the pressure onto Jorge Martin and the Aprilia riders, including Marco Bezzecchi. They no longer have a comfortable cushion in the championship standings. A single mistake could instantly erase the points advantage they have worked so hard to build. With Marc Márquez's experience as an 8-time world champion, many believe he becomes extremely dangerous once he starts building momentum with back-to-back victories. And Sachsenring may very well prove to be the turning point of the 2026 season. Meanwhile, another intriguing story involves Australian rider Jack Miller. Ironically, despite becoming increasingly competitive over the last few race weekends, Miller's future remains surrounded by uncertainty. The veteran rider has shown significant improvements in performance. He has recorded several strong finishes, delivered consistent performances throughout race weekends, and even managed to put pressure on the championship contenders. However, there is still no confirmation regarding his contract for the 2027 MotoGP season. Naturally, this has raised plenty of questions. Why hasn't a rider performing at such a high level secured his future yet? According to several MotoGP analysts, the main reason has nothing to do with Jack Miller's ability. Instead, the biggest factor is the arrival of the new MotoGP regulations in 2027. Next season will usher in a new era featuring 850 cubic centimeters engines, more restricted aerodynamics, and several other major technical changes. As a result, nearly every factory team has begun reshaping its long-term project. Top riders such as Pedro Acosta, Jorge Martin, Francesco Bagnaia, and Ayogura have all been linked with potential transfer opportunities. The battle for factory seats has become far more competitive than in previous seasons. In a situation like this, Jack Miller finds himself at a disadvantage. Looking strictly at his performances on track, Jack Miller is actually enjoying one of his strongest seasons in recent years. He has been calmer, more consistent, and much more mature in race management, while his extensive MotoGP experience remains a valuable asset that many younger riders simply do not possess. However, age has now become Miller's biggest challenge. In today's MotoGP era, most teams prefer investing in younger riders whom they believe have greater long-term potential. That is why, despite his continued improvement and ability to compete at the highest level, Miller's future remains uncertain. Despite all the rumours, Jack Miller has chosen to stay calm and avoid overthinking the speculation surrounding his contract. According to Miller, the only way to silence the doubts is to keep delivering competitive performances every race weekend, because every strong result proves that he still belongs in MotoGP's premier class. Armed with years of experience, competitive speed, and an undiminished fighting spirit, Miller remains hopeful that a team will give him the opportunity to continue his MotoGP career in 2027. Now, all eyes are once again on Marc Márquez. After overcoming the toughest period of his career due to injury, he has proven that he is far from finished. Sachsenring was more than just another victory. It was a powerful warning to every rival that the 8-time world champion is back at his very best. With the championship gap now shrinking and the momentum completely on his side, Marc's challenge for the 2026 MotoGP World Championship has become more real than ever. If Ducati continues to provide him with a competitive bike and he maintains the level of consistency he's showing right now, it's entirely possible that Marc could take over the championship lead in the next few rounds and completely reshape this season's title fight. The battle for the championship has officially entered its most intense stage. So what do you think? Can Marc Márquez keep the momentum going, win the next race, and claim the top spot in the standings? Share your thoughts in the comments below.